Hey, it's Kelly coming back at you. So today, I want to kind of go over a couple of things. Something that's kind of been on my mind lately, and that's, I spend my life trying to make people feel like they're loved, they're wanted, they're needed, and that they're significant. And the main reason I do that is because I know what it's like to feel the other way. And, I think it's important to go out of my way to do that for people because you just never know. I mean, it's amazing how many times I just reach out to somebody who I'm friends with and I haven't talked to in a while and just say, hey, thinking about you, how are you doing? And I get a message back, man, I need to hear that today. And people need to hear that. People need to hear you're thinking about them. People need to know that you care. And we live in this world where um, it was coined one time as crowded loneliness, where we live in this world where we got people all around us, but we don't know anyone. We don't know our neighbors. We don't know anybody really. I mean, we may have 1,000 friends on Facebook or whatever, but we don't really know anyone. And we live in this crowded world. There's 8 billion people here, and do we really know anyone other than family? So it's important to do that because you never know what people are going through, and it may be just your simple, hey, how you doing? Um, you know, thinking about you. Hey, care about you. I mean, just the other day at Walmart, I mean, this girl looked like she was just hating life. And I made a comment. I just said, I'm very impressed by how diligent you are about the way you are putting stuff into bags. It's very impressive. And I mean, I had watched her. There were two customers in front of me, and I'd watched her, not a single smile. I mean, she was just kind of slumped over, and it was just kind of like sad to see her like that. And after I said that, she kind of sat up a little bit better, and she smiled, and I thought, cool, okay, so maybe I brought a little something to her life, at least for that moment, and it didn't cost me a thing. So it's important to do that for people. Um, Again, we live in this world where it's like very sorry, but it's a very selfish world, and we need to edify people. We need to lift people up. It's good for them, and it makes you feel better by doing it too. Um, and here's the other thing is, if somebody steps up and says, "I need help," you know, too many times they're kind of like laughed at or kind of cast aside by a lot of people, and man, those people are superheroes. It takes so much strength to stay up and say, I need to stand up and say, I need help. Um, Especially in today's society, it's not easy to admit you're struggling, and my hat's off to anybody who does it. Because you're opening yourself up to a lot of ridicule, to a lot of people, making fun of you, and it can be challenging. But it's important that we do it because there is help out there. There's some great programs out there, and if you're willing to work them, and if you're willing to dig in, do what needs to be done, it can help. I'm proof of that. I mean, I took my treatment very seriously. I dug in, and it definitely worked. I mean, I feel better. I know I'm better. I'm a better person. Um, Man, half the time I don't even know me anymore. It's in the past year there has been such a dramatic change that I'm like, man, I just can't believe the difference. And it's been good, and it's been worth it. I mean, it was hard. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't easy. Um, a lot of tears shed, a lot of hard things I had to deal with, but it was all worth it. I mean, I still deal with them. They're never going to go away, but I'm learning how to deal with them more efficiently, and it gets easier each time. but the change in my life is huge. And, that's good. Again, I love my life, I love myself, and I was never able to say that before. So, yeah, I mean, if you ever hear anybody putting somebody down for speaking up about their mental health, and correct them quickly, because that is just so wrong. I mean, that is just, it takes so much strength to stand up. Um, yeah, it's just sad that people do that. Kind of reminds me of, I remember the first time I tried committing suicide. I was 7 years old, and I took a bunch of pills, and I ended up in a hospital, had my stomach pumped, and I remember lying there, and a family member. Um, the only thing he could say to me was, "Hey, next time make sure you do it right instead of wasting everybody's time." And it's just like, wow, really, So yeah, it's what we say to people, because if we laugh at people because they bring up their mental issues, isn't that the same thing? Then isn't that really the same thing? I'm basically saying, it's a joke. Go take it somewhere else. Um, yeah, so please, anytime you hear somebody saying stuff about people bringing up their mental health issues, you stop them, because it's no laughing matter. Um, yeah, otherwise, things are going pretty well. Yeah, I'm again, I'm delving deeply into my spirituality, trying to stay physically fit, working with that too. Got the recumbent bike behind me on this side. Just bought a bike, so with spring coming, I'll be out riding a lot, keeping myself fit, trying to lose some weight, and it's helped me mentally as well. And that's one thing I encourage you to do, is find some type of more rigorous activity you can do. It's amazing what it does for mental health. I mean, I was walking before and going on hikes and stuff and doing, they weren't small hikes, they were significant, 5 miles. I was doing, 10, 12,000 steps a day, but, it was walking. And what I found now is with the recumbent bike is that I get on there and I turn on music, so I start to dance a little bit and I start to get moving, and next thing I know, I'm breaking a sweat and I'm getting a pretty good workout. And the one thing I'm realizing from it is I'm getting a lot more energy, and mentally, I'm able to deal with a lot of the stressors in my life a lot easier. I'm definitely sleeping better. That's one thing. I mean, let's face it, the military ruins you when it comes to sleep, but um, I was, up until this past few months, I was happy if I got 4 hours of sleep a night. That was like perfect. And, a lot of nights I got 2 hours, 1 hour. Since I started heavily working out on the bike, I'm actually getting 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep a night. And I wake up, I feel great, I feel refreshed. I've never felt better. So, it's something to think about. If you have the capability of doing some type of strenuous exercise, I would add it in. Obviously check with a doctor, because I'm no professional. And remember that, guys, I am no professional here. I am not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. Um, I'm just, your average trans girl who's trying to recover from alcoholism, drug addiction, and dealing with mental health issues, and just trying to be open and honest, and hopefully help you guys along the way. But yeah, check with your doctor, make sure it's okay. But yeah, I mean, exercise is phenomenal. It really does. You know, start working out, and those endorphins get released, and it's a different, different kind of high that's tends to last and sticks around. It's been pretty good. Yeah, along with that, kind of changed my diet and so trying to get my life together. Again, that big 6-0 coming up, and that's got me a little nervous. That's one of those big mile markers, I guess. Your mortality starts to come into play a little more once you start getting up there. So I think about it more, and I do have 3 daughters, and I want to be around for them. I want to, watch them continue to grow and become the amazing women that they are and will continue to be. So yeah, so I think more about that. But yeah, it's definitely, it's worth it to think about getting into some type of activity like that, something that you can do, something low impact, especially as you get older. Again, I've had both knees replaced. I just had the one done back in September, and I'm still having some issues with it. But, so it's low impact on the bike. Aquatics is always really good as well. But yeah, it definitely helps a lot. And between that and my spirituality, it's just, I think it's great. And I never thought I'd ever say that. I really didn't. Most of my life, I just kind of went through life thinking, this sucks and it's just going to suck forever. But now I actually look forward to waking up every morning. And I look forward to each day because they're great. They offer a lot. And part of that, it comes from having the mentality that things are going to happen. I can't change. I can have some influence on what's going to happen, but things are going to happen. I can't change them. There's going to be positive things. There's going to be negative things that happen. What I have the control over is how I react to each of those. What I choose to do is I choose to take the negative things and find the lesson in them and quickly learn from it and let them go. The positive things, I hold on to them, I relish them, I cherish them, but I don't, rely on them. I take them for the moment and relish them and cherish them. And then I move on. And, as long as I'm letting go of the bad and recognizing the positive for what it is, life seems good. It's taken me a long time to get there. And there's still times when days are extra rough that, that's hard to do. But slowly over time, I'm getting better and better at it. And, I hope that each of you finds something like that you can do, because it's important to be able to do that. And it's that ability to, obviously there's situations where you have to act quickly, but it's that ability to stop and actually analyze what's really going on. And, not reacting immediately and figuring out what it really is, because most of the time what happens to us in life doesn't require an immediate reaction. And if we truly analyze what happened, a lot of times it doesn't require any reaction from us. We can just let it go because it didn't really matter at all. All right, I'm going to keep this one short, guys. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I care about you. I love you. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy. Get help if you need it. Remember 988. Don't hesitate to use that. All right? Take care.